All right, everybody. Welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Talon Jenkins. Joined with our hosts, we got Ryan Gilbert and Joel Meyer. Gentlemen, how the hell are we doing tonight?
I'm a little discombobulated right now, to be honest. I'm not sure. I got a lot of things going on here. We're in different squares on the YouTube stream here. It's kind of odd.
You
but
and Joel are switched, eh? I see that.
You're on the bottom for me, no?
I'm always on the bottom for you, baby. Don't you worry.
All right, there we go. I'm good to go here. Let's get going.
All right, yeah, I am not discombobulated. I am focused and ready for these playoffs to begin. All the prep is done, the bets are made, and it's time to get the party started. But yeah, last night I went to dinner with my mom, and she was going to give me her leftovers because she never finishes her meal anyway. So she ordered this 20-ounce rib steak. And I just got a 10-ounce filet mignon. So the server brings it out. She's got this mammoth steak, and I got the little one. That's kind of funny. But, yeah, I got that, like, 3/4 of that rib steak in the fridge now I can eat after the show. But, yeah, steak is beautiful. Shout out to the Keg, of course, one of Canada's fine establishments. Yeah, so I was fat and full last night. Couldn't record, unfortunately. But we're good to go today for a doubleheader.
Dude, a ribeye steak is a filet mignon is absolutely beautiful, but I am a fan of the 20-ounce ribeye steak. You know, you get a nice dry aged. Honestly, like a lot of people like ribeye steaks. Yeah, you can baste them like garlic and like thyme and butter and shit. I'm so old school, man. It's almost just as good. A little bit of Montreal steak spice on that bitch. Fucking cook her on up nice and good. You're laughing. You're crying. Ooh, fillets are good though. I like bacon wrap filet mignons. Those are my go-to favorite.
Yeah, it's the tender steaks over the flavorful ones for me, right? You just when it just slides into your mouth. It's
nice bite. It's butter.
Oh yeah,
it's butter. Oh fuck, I'm fired up.
Making me hungry again,
dude. If I wasn't gonna be pounding fucking barbecued smash burgers tomorrow at my cousin's fucking NHL playoff draft, I would be crushing a steak. God damn it! But that's gonna be in the wheelhouse soon. I'm doing good. Jolie apologized for missing the show yesterday. That was my bad. I fell asleep. We were going to record late when Jolie got home, and I had a cat nap, and I was out like a little kitty. I was just snoozing a little bit, you know. But anyway, had to work this morning, so that's my bad. But we're double heading it tonight, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. Boys, how fired up are we for playoffs? We're going to get into everything, but just one sentence each. Give me a one sentence each to determine how fired up on the spot we are for playoffs to start tomorrow.
My dick is normally about 5.5 inches. It feels about 11 right now.
There's no way I could top that, just like you can't top the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, his team's not in the playoffs. That's why he can't top it.
Yeah.
I'm fired up, speaking of tops, to see my Leafs topping the Bruins, baby. Oh, hell yeah. That's how fired up I am. Absolutely love it. All right, everybody, go check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Network website. That's the place to be. Tons of stuff going on in the world of sports. Obviously, we got hockey. 2 games tomorrow. We're going to run through the Saturday game slate odds, but mainly we're going to continue our division previews. The thing is, the NHL kind of fucked us this year because there's literally 1 day off between the regular season and the actual playoffs. So we're trying to bang these out as best as we can for you guys. Hopefully everybody has enough time to listen. But so yeah, we're going to keep running through that. We're going to talk about the Pacific today. Other stuff in the world of sports, though, basketball, I imagine, is the play-on series. Is that still going, I guess? That's probably still
play-in. Yeah, it's final 2 games today. I don't really care who wins those games, so I haven't been paying attention.
Okay, well, that's happening. Baseball, I imagine, is doing its thing. Ryan said eventually he'll get digging into that, and he'll keep us up to date with baseball a little bit further. You know, maybe as we dive into the next couple of shows here, that's good shit. NASCAR is doing its thing. I'm sure there's stuff going on in the world of MMA. I heard UFC. Like I heard McGregor's coming back or some shit. I heard somebody saying that. Is that a thing?
It's rumored. We'll see. I mean, it's been rumored before, and it hasn't happened. But if he does. Yeah, he'll be out of shape. I don't think that I'll be betting him, especially because 90% of people are going to be betting him. So you'd probably get a good number on the other guy.
Right on, man. Well, there you go. I'm sure you can check out our boy Jeff Fox. So we'll be pumping that up, as well as golf. There's stuff going on. RBC Memorial, I've not been tracking. Pretty good field, though, but I'm sure there's stuff going on there. NFL draft coming up. Ryan, is there something special we should know about a certain podcast doing NFL stuff or what?
There's not, but there's the NBA. They're giving away $200 in cash in our NBA playoff round 1 prop contest. Sign up link is in the NBA channel on the Discord. Also, make sure you check out yours truly on the flagship show earlier Friday afternoon. Check that out, the Stanley Cup predictions episode, and go back and listen to all of our episodes for the Atlantic and Metropolitan if you missed those.
Mm-hmm. Do that. From what I hear, Ryan was crushing it on the flagship show today, man. So go check that out. Give our boy some love. If you're on Twitter or something, go to that show, give it a little like, or if you're on whatever other platform, just give it some support. Our guy, he does some bust balls out, does some good work, So anytime you can represent the HGP, that's awesome. So hell yeah. Shout out to our boy Parker Smith for giving us some love. We're sorry we missed you last night, buddy, but we're back now. Hell yeah. Let's get after it. Ton of stuff in the world of sports. Find all the information at the SGPN website. That's the place to be. What else is going on? Shout out to all our friends and pals in the Discord, baby. Discord is always great, except for, and I have a new enemy. I'm officially going to war with the entire state of Utah. This Utah hockey team has officially been crushed by me. I think you stink. I think you're going to be terrible for the rest of your upbringing. I'm going to fucking torch this team, and I hate you. To me, you are the new... What other teams do I hate? Ottawa, Montreal, Boston. I don't know who else I've shit on, but you're fucking on the shit list now. Congratulations, Utah. You suck because one little soaking fucking loser had to ruin it for all of you. All right. So congratulations. It's not your fault, but you're the one that has to deal with the consequences. So fuck Utah. Other than that, shout out to all our friends and pals in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you're not making money. If you want to get into the Discord, reach out to myself or Ryan on Twitter. We'll be sure to point you in the right direction. You can also reach out to the HTP Twitter account, social media system producer. Will tell you everything you need to know. He's a beauty. He's a stud. He's a killer. He's a good-looking gentleman, So hell yeah. He'll tell you everything you need to know, get you in there. Or what else you can do is you can just go down to your local butcher, and when you're looking for a nice 10-ounce filet mignon, perfect balance, perfect shape, perfect scale, get a nice, make sure, because you're only going to cook it with a nice sear on each side, so you want it to be nice and tender both ways. And when you're in the lineup for that fucking beautiful filet mignon, maybe like some mushrooms on the side, a little bit of caramelized onions, baked potato, maybe some green beans with some garlic and lemon juice on top. Ooh, that sounds good. You'll see our boy Joel Meyer sitting there. You're like, hey, Joel, you see we got that nice filet. You want to know what I want to know is how the fuck we get into the Discord. And he'll tell you how to get in the Discord, baby.
Yeah, and don't forget the mashed potatoes, man. You might be a baked potato guy, but give me the garlic mashed potatoes all day long.
Those are pretty goddamn good as well. You're right. Ryan, what's your favorite kind of potato?
Just French fries.
An American,
obviously.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, you fucking
fry
fry
them up. Give them some salt. Nothing better.
Oh,
Nothing better.
God, what a clown this guy is, Joel. Uncultured swine.
Infidel.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the Hockey Given podcast on YouTube as well as your preferred podcast platform as well. And leave us a 5-star rating and review. Give us pump our tires a little bit.
Sure as hell could use it. All right. How do we want to do this? I guess. Do you want to just go into ads and then we'll go through the previews and then
let's do the 2-game ones and then we'll do ads and we'll do previews.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to cover the Saturday game slate here. Obviously, we have 2 games set on the docket with our odds out. Gentlemen, we ready to rock and roll for these 2 games tomorrow here or what?
Oh, yeah.
All right, first game we're going to cover here at the 5 p.m. time slot is kicking off the 2023-2024 Stanley Cup Playoffs. We have the New York Islanders against the Carolina Hurricanes. Game itself is in Carolina here, baby. Islanders on the money line sitting at plus 190. Canes on the money line at minus 230. Over-under sitting at 5.5. Overpaying off plus 100. The under minus 120. This game, I'm going to throw to Joel. I'm kind of curious as to his thoughts on this one. Mr. Meyer. What do you think we're going to see here between the Islanders and the Canes?
Yeah, as I said on the other show, I kind of think the Islanders will make a series out of this. Maybe not win it, but I think they're more live than the odds suggest. And I would be leaning to the under 5.5 here. But first game of the playoffs, both teams are going to go on balls to the wall. They got full of energy. They're full of energy. Chasing down pucks. Could see some under games later in the series. But in this one, over about 5.5 at even money with two goalies that aren't exactly in the best of form. I guess it'll be Varlamov playing this one. And then Freddie Anderson will be in that for the Hurricanes. He's got a checky. What's the word? Check marked? What I think?
A check mark.
Yeah.
No. Forget that. He's got a sketchy playoff history, right? So
okay.
That's not the word I was going for, but there is a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But Point is, he's not been great in the playoffs.
A checkered
Yeah,
past.
there you go.
There you go. I got
Checkered
you.
history. Yeah. All right. So, and the Islanders, worst penalty kill in the league. That did not improve significantly under Patrick Roy. Remained pretty bad. So, and the Hurricanes have an elite power play. So, over 5.5 would be the look I got for this one. Lean to the Islanders. They've been playing playoff hockey for like 2 months now as they strive to get in there, and the Hurricanes have been pretty much settled for a while, chasing the division, of course, but that doesn't mean as much as chasing playoffs. So lean to the Islanders, but if I do bet this game, it'll be the over 5.5.
You guys know I disagree with the Islanders take, but I do agree with that over 5.5 take at plus 100. I think last year I think it started with a low scoring game, but yeah, I think this could be a higher scoring game here. You see more penalties called early on. Could see Patrick Roy pull the goalie twice if he has to get a cheap over there. So yeah, even money at over 5.5 in a game one, I would take that. My favorite bet here, and I threw this out for an underdog fantasy play on the flagship show, is Varlamov over 29.5 saves at minus 122. Hurricanes just rack up the shots, especially against the Islanders in the regular season. They had 43, 40, and 31, or 34 in the 3 meetings before. So I like that. I do like the over 5.5. But and yeah, I also have Carolina to win game one in the series at minus 135, because I think if they take game one, that price is gonna go up a lot. So it's a way to get some good value there.
There's a couple things that both of you guys said I really like. Ryan, I love that shots on goal total. So pretty much these saves for Varlamov is very intriguing. Like you said, Carolina is third in the NHL average on shots per goal per game, seeing a 33.3, and the Islanders are 29th in the league for shots on goal allowed, which is not great. So that is definitely a good look. I think this is going to be a tighty, man. Honestly, I really do. I think the Islanders are going to surprise a lot of people here. Yes, the general consensus is Carolina is going to win this series. But I think the Islanders are going to keep it close, dude. So the New York plus 1.5 on the reverse cowgirl at minus 148. I kind of like that. I can see this game being close within one. Might get fucked over by the empty netter here. Don't hate the tie either. A little first game draw from these two teams. I don't know what that's sitting at, but I feel like there might be some value on that as well.
All season long has been value. The Islanders go to overtime like every other game.
Yeah, and it might catch people off guard a little bit with Carolina too. I do like the under in this game, though, at 5.5 minus 120. I'm kind of going against the grain here. Last time we saw these guys play pretty much a month ago today was a 4-1 final. And if I think New York keeps this close, I think a lot of it's going to come down to Varlamov absolutely standing on his head here. So maybe I'm looking for like a 3-2 overtime final or something along those lines here. When you're the first game of the playoffs, everybody comes out firing and swinging and ready to go. So there is that side of it. But I feel like this series is going to be a fucking war, man. So, and a lot of these teams, yes, Carolina has gotten improvement from their scoring ability, and so has the Islanders since bringing in Patrick Roy. But I think we're going to see a couple goaltenders shine here with my boy Freddie and my boy Semyon Varlamov. So give me the reverse cowgirl on the Islanders and the under 5.5.
I do want to say look out for power play point props or just the over 1.5 power play goals in the game, because that seems to be a good thing that Joel pointed out like 2 years ago, and it's been hitting in most early games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll one word on that. Yeah, the first 3 or 4 games, the penalties per game actually go up in the playoffs, contrary to public opinion. But it's later in the series as things go a lot tighter, like 4, 5, 6, 7. That the refs start putting the whistles away and the penalties go way down. Or if it's in overtime too, like they just put them away. But definitely the first few games, there's more penalties than in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move down to the 8 p.m. time slot here for the second game of this night. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Boston Bruins. Game itself is in Boston at the Toronto Dominion Gardens. In case anybody was wondering where this game will be played, it will be played, in fact, at the Toronto Dominion's Gardens in Boston. Yeah, that's right. All you Bruins fans probably didn't even know that TD stands for fucking Toronto Dominion. Go fuck yourself. Leafs on the money line sitting at plus 105. Bruins on the money line at minus 125. The over-under at 5.5. Over paying off minus 125. The under plus 105. Rye guy, I'm going to toss this one your way, buddy. What are we predicting here in this big matchup in the first round?
I was really hoping you were going to take this one, because I unfortunately do like the Bruins here, minus 125. I think they're going to come out. They're going to set the tone. I think the Leafs are still, very much alive in this series. But I think the Bruins, they took care of business against the Leafs in the regular season. They've won 7 straight matchups. I don't know how they do it. That they just, I guess it's defense and goaltending. That seems to be how they win. And I don't trust the Leafs goaltending right now. I think they'll eventually come around. That everything will click for them. I think the power play needs to show something before I can believe in them as well, obviously. So I like Boston here at -125. Probably lean to the over 5.5, -125. Leafs have been playing a ton of over games, so I could see Boston putting up like a 4-2 win here, maybe.
No disputing any of that. Of course, select the Bruins for the series. Select them to win game 1. Yeah, I made all this clear before. I don't see any reason I would pick the Leafs to go against my opinion in the other show. So, yeah, Bruins money line here would be the look. Yeah, the over 5.5 maybe because the goaltending is a little suspect. Even for the Bruins, like they weren't exactly elite in the last year's playoffs. Not a ton of experience, like even 2 years ago. Swayman, I think he played that series too. He wasn't great either after he relieved.
Played the last game. He played game 7. Olmark had the other ones.
In 2 years ago?
Oh, no. Sorry. I was talking last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think it was Olmark started. I don't remember. But anyway.
Vladar?
Yeah, could have been Vladar. I don't know.
Halak?
Yeah, it could be.
I think it was Halak.
Because Olmark only came in last year, right? Mm-hmm. So it was not him. Anyway, Bruins goaltending has not been good in the playoffs the last couple of years. Obviously, elite this year. Both of them have about a 9.16 save percentage in playing some great teams, obviously. So yeah, their goaltending kind of fades in the playoffs. But I got no bets for this game. I just bet the Bruins for the series.
All right, well, yeah, I'll stand up for my boys here. I'm going to take the Leafs +105 in this game. I absolutely love this going into Boston. You think of recency bias, not so much recency bias, I guess, but more so recency pressure. I feel like not enough's being made, and maybe I'm being an asshole, but not enough is being made out of what happened to Boston last year. Fucking 62 wins in regulation plus overtime. They had like 140 points last year for the greatest season of all time, up 3-1 against Florida, and then just fucking blew a 3-1 series lead and lost in the first round. Like, I feel like if you're in the Boston market, maybe I'm wrong here, but that's got to make some noise, right? That people got to be saying, hey, this team needs to show up here. And Olmark didn't play great in those fucking final 2 games, or last 3 games rather, in that series last year. So there has to be some question marks, even though this guy has been absolutely elite in the fucking regular season. There's no doubt about that. But I just look at it and there's some scar tissue there, man. Like, Boston's won 1 series in the past 3 years. You can say the same thing about Toronto. So, all this hate coming in from Boston fans and saying, oh, the Leafs are fucked because they're playing Boston and shit. Well, realistically, who on that Boston team played in any of those series? Dating back to the Stanley Cup wins, it was Marchand. That's it. Dating back to the 2018-19 series, it's Pasta, Marchand. But if you look on the Leafs side of thing, there's maybe Matthews, Marner, Nylander. The coach is different. The goalie's different. The entire defensive core is different. So all these guys aren't carrying these scars that everyone's saying, hey, the Leafs are going to get fucked by Boston about. So I feel like the Leafs are going to surprise, maybe turn some heads here in game 1 and come out there and bring it to Boston. I feel like a lot of pressure is on the Bruins here, especially at home, considering last time this team played a home playoff game, they got their hearts broken. So I think there's some value on the Leafs +105 here to show up. Ryan brings up a good point. There is some questions in goal when it comes to Toronto. Samsonov has not looked good lately. I don't know if you guys have heard this. William Nylander's status is in the air. I did not practice today. Keefe refused to comment on it. There's some consensus that this is a bit of gamesmanship because Boston isn't declaring who's going to be their starting goalie. So they're but I don't know. So we'll see what happens if Willie plays or not. That's going to be a big mismatch if he does not play, because the whole plan was to split up the big 3 on 3 different lines. Boston can't compete with the depth. So yeah, I'm still going to take the Leafs +105 over under. I love the over in this game. 5.5 -125. What the fuck are we talking about here, bro? I feel like this could be a 3-2 game after the first period, for Christ's sake. So anyways, give me the Leafs, give me the over. Austin, from the sounds of it, the Bruins are going to be putting fucking Charlie McAvoy on Austin Matthews' ass the entire series, from what I heard Andrew Raycroft say the other day. He's pretty in touch with the Boston market. He covers them. With that being said, in games playing against Charlie McAvoy matched up with Austin Matthews, he only scored 1 goal, but he has something stupid like averaging like 6 shots on net per game when that happens. So maybe look for like a Matthews shots on goal total. Domi's 100% healthy too. He will be back. So that's some good news for the Leafs, as well as Calle Yarncroke is expected to return from the lineup. So just some little tidbits there.
Just cleaning up my mess earlier. It was Ullmark and Swayman 2 years ago as well against the Hurricanes. Ullmark started the series. Swayman finished it. Ullmark was bad in the early part, and then Swayman is okay towards the end. So not exactly encouraging, but maybe it'll change this season.
Okay. All right, boys, that's it for the games. There are lines out for the Sunday and Monday games. You can find our picks for those in the Discord. Also, we will be doing on our next show, we'll be kicking off the HGP Puck Buck Challenge. So you'll find a lot of those in there. You can keep an eye out for those as well. But for now, we're going to continue with our division coverage. We're going to run into the Pacific Division here. Gentlemen, you ready to rock and roll for the Pacific Division breakdowns here or what?
Well, before we get into that, Talon, we have to shout out Underdog Fantasy, of course.
Of course.
The playoffs are here, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing the pick'em games as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats. You can make entries of any sport, and you can win up to 100 times your money. It's tons of fun to play. Underdog is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. They got the specials going on all weekends long, so make sure you check them out at underdogfantasy.com or in the App Store. Use promo code HGP to double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code HGP.
All right. Now are we ready to go into the Pacific Division coverage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. First series we're going to talk about, obviously, we're going to talk about the Vancouver Canucks against the Nashville Predators. Obviously, Vancouver has home ice here with them winning the division. Nashville being a wild card team. Vancouver on the odds for the win the series is -150. Preds odds are +130. I'm trying to find how it worked out in the regular season. I lost it. I don't know. Do you guys have that information or no?
It was 3. The Canucks swept 3-0.
Okay, well that's not great. I'll jump into this one first. I actually really like Nashville in this series, man. I don't know what it is. I've been so anti-Vancouver maybe about halfway through this year. I've brought up some points. Joel's had some good counterpoints and said, who's the physical bodies on their team? He brings up the likes of Zadorov. And some of these guys are pretty physical and they're good. But I just feel like Nashville's been playing playoff games essentially for the past month. And they've been fucking playing well. It's not just the U2 thing, man. And I've been talking about this since the beginning of the season, just how strong the strength and bond of this team is together. And I don't see any reason why they can't beat Vancouver. What worries me the most about Vancouver is Thatcher Demko coming back from injury. Yes, he's played 2 games since coming back. He played awesome the first game. Didn't play that great last night. With that being said, last game of the season, a couple scratches for Vancouver and just not an overall a good showing. That's to be expected, though, heading into the playoffs, especially when you're all locked in. So I don't want to put too much merit into that, but keep in mind, he's going against that fucking animal UC Saros. Now, if you come from a depth point of view, yes, offensive depth and maybe even defensive depth to a certain extent, Vancouver does look like the better team, but I watched a lot of Canucks hockey at the beginning of the season, and I didn't necessarily love what I saw. And this Nashville team just buys in with each other. They're playing great. Yes, you can call them a one-line team with the likes of O'Reilly fucking absolutely torching it and Forsberg being great and Nyquist. Yes, that's fine. But Roman Josi is a goddamn killer, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nashville win this series. I think a +130, I think that's okay odds. I'm going to lean Nashville towards this one. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think Nashville definitely has a good chance. +130 is a decent price for them, but I don't think I can pull the trigger on that. Just given how they performed in the regular season. I mean, all 3 games were in 2023. The final meeting was on December 19th, and that's when the Canucks were playing their best. They had a great first half, and then they kind of faded off a little bit, and the Predators had the opposite. But I think by this point, with Demko back kind of fresh, I guess, unless he still has that nagging injury. I think they have the depth to get it done. Yeah, Nashville's got a great top line, great top defenseman, great goalie, but I think like we talked about with Tampa Bay, they just don't have the depth to keep up with the likes of the Canucks, who can run three centers with Pettersson, JT Miller, and Elias Lindholm on three separate lines, and the Preds can't match that. So I look at the Canucks here. Canucks minus 1.5 games, plus 138 could be worth a look. I'm probably going to do the Canucks to win in 6 at plus 475. And then you know me. If it's looking good, maybe I'll hedge out. Maybe I'll put Canucks in 7 too in case. But I think the Preds can steal a few wins, but the Canucks get it done in 6.
So I've mentioned a few times on this show that Ken Barkley is a guy that I respect deeply for all the futures work he does and all that. And he found something very interesting when doing his NHL research. And he found this little stat package that the NHL itself released. Apparently since 2012, or it was actually released in 2022, but in the previous 10 years, teams that won the regular season series were 59 and 34 in their playoff matchup, like the full series, which is pretty strong, I think. And it makes sense. Like, certain teams have each other's numbers and all that. And yeah, Ryan said that the Canucks were playing better hockey last year. I disagree. They were just getting a lot luckier. Their PDO was off the charts in the first part of the year. Their save percentage was unsustainable. Their shooting percentage unsustainable. And that stuff definitely regressed in the second half of the season, even as they were playing better. So they just got a lot less of the lucky bounces and shit in the second half of the season. They didn't get the same kind of luck they did in the first part. But that's good. That actually prepares them better for these playoffs here. It's actually interesting that these teams are very similar the way they play. I mean, Burnett has a unique style, but in the sense of both dominate 5-5, they're both great at preventing chances, especially in the second half of the season. Both teams are getting better, especially because both teams have new coaches, right? So they need to get their guys used to playing a different system, and that happened over the course of the second half of the seasons. You could talk about the U2 thing, but there's more of the fact that they were just fucking embarrassed by Dallas in their 9-2 win, and the players realized they need to buy into Burnett's system, and then they did. That's why something clicked. Players started playing better. They started fitting into how Burnett wanted them to play, so that explains why they've been better. I like both these teams, but I really like the Canucks here. They're just far deeper. You look at their center depth. You got Miller, Pettersson, Lindholm, Bluger, arguably the best foursome in the league down the middle. I think that will be the difference here, because the Preds, they're not a one-line team. I love my guy Luke Evangelista, Tommy Novak. Those guys are really good. They added some depth to it. The deadline, not big name guys like Beauvillier and whatnot, Zucker. But they have some depth, but not to the same extent that the Canucks do. The Canucks also have better elite talent, I think. Obviously there's Yossi and Forsberg, but Besser and he's having a career year. JT Miller has suddenly found himself being a power forward who could play a two-way game, like a low-key Selke candidate. Pettersson has not been good in the past third of the season, but he has the switch he can flick and make it happen. And this team is really healthy now. Like without Joshua, that was a big reason why they were getting bossed around parts of the later part of the season. But yeah, I like the Canucks here quite a bit. Minus 150 is a good price. I like both these teams. I wish they were playing different opponents, but Canucks are going to win this one. Fairly confident in that. Demko, he's looked good for 2 games that he's coming back. I don't think he's too hurt. They kept him out for as long as they could, and just give him a couple games, get ready for the playoffs, and he's good to go. Interesting. Another comparison. Of course, we got the 2 Norris candidates and Yossi and Hughes, and in that too, like Demko and Saros play similarly. The way that they move explosively across the net, and both are relatively undersized goalies as well. So it's actually pretty interesting the way that these teams are so alike. But yeah, I think I like Nashville better next year, but this year seems like the Canucks year.
If you could pick one of Demko or Saros to be on the Colorado Avalanche, who would you rather have?
Either. I mean, I watch a lot more Demko than I do Saros.
It's tough. Yeah, but it's tough decision, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, this year I got to go Demko. He had the more consistent season. He was on it all season long. Charles was awesome towards the end of the year. He had a tough start. Of course, new system and all that, but I got to go with my man Demko. He's going to be likely second in Vezina voting. So yeah, give me Demko. But it's close. I mean, fucking, I would trade Georgiev for, I don't know, Jake Allen at this point.
Look. Ryan's like, yeah, I'll take either of them, please, or at least half of them.
Just give me someone competent in that. Come on.
Give me the lower body of Demko, just Chris Angel, pull him in half or something, and Ryan will be like, yeah, I'll take that guy in between the pipes. All right, anything, or let's get it. Like, what do we got? We got how long do you think the series would go? You know, for me, this seems like a 6-gamer plus 205 either way. I know maybe a lot of things are coming in Vancouver, but I think if any team kind of goes up like 2-0 or something, this could kind of end up rather quickly. I don't know if the 7's on the spot. It's playing the same as 6. I'd rather lean towards 6. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, because they're so similar, I think
that
the over would be the look. I think the Nashville could easily get a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver in 6 is what I said. It could go 7 maybe, but I think they could get it on 6.
Okay, then player most points in the series. Obviously, you got guys like Forsberg playing out plus 300, Miller and Pettersson plus 400, Quinn Hughes plus 600, Yossi 7, Brock Besser 10-1. Anything there kind of stand out? Like I feel like it depends on who's going to win, right? Like if Nashville's going to win this one, then definitely Forsberg plus 300. He's going to be all over this fucking thing too. But like looking for some kind of like value here. It gets a little dull once you get past the Brock Besser, maybe Ryan O'Reilly point though.
Are Mikheyev and Hoglander playing with Pettersson, Joel? Because
Mikheyev will not get any points. Okay, he will not. He will get a breakaway and he will shoot the puck at the goalie's chest. That's what will happen.
Like Lindholm 130-1. Maybe a few of these depth.
Not Lindholm. Hoglander would be the guy. Hoglander 100-1.
Yeah,
he's got one of the most. It's a shame he's not really on the power play, but he's actually had he's among the best goal scorers in the league, 5-5, but he doesn't get enough power play time. But 100-1, if this series stays 5-5 enough, he could be in the mix there for most points. Do you have goals here too? I can find most goals. That might be a better look for Hoggy.
Mm-hmm. What's up with my boy Vasily Podkolzin? Is he on like third line, fourth line? What's up with him? I had high hopes for him coming in the NHL.
Yeah, he's a bigger physical body. He's kind of underperformed, I guess, but he's working his way in. He spent most of the year in the AHL. But the Canucks do need some bigger bodies, so I'm sure that he'll get his share of playing time.
Fair enough. Always curious about that guy. He was sick in the KHL, so.
I want to shout out. I think Joel put this. May have been a Ken Barkley play. Even Quinn Hughes at 50-1 for Conn Smythe. If you like the Canucks long term, I also think this could be if you really like either one of these teams, take them to win the West because the Kings could upset the Oilers. I don't think it'll happen, but this could be probably the best price you might get on them.
The Pacific is definitely the easier path, right? So like compared to the Central here. So just out of curiosity, Saros Conn Smythe, because like if this team goes in a run, it's going to be on him. What's that looking at?
What is that at? That is at 100-1. That's not Yossi 125-1.
Holy fuck!
I mean, I don't think the Preds are winning the cup, but those are insane prices.
It's true.
I'd rather have Yossi there. Speaking of Quinn Hughes, he should be the number one choice for Vancouver, but he's well behind Pettersson in a lot of books. So he'd be the option there for Vancouver option for Conn Smythe.
Sure, you can find him through the fucking gills at FanDuel or something crazy like that. So.
Ryan O'Reilly 250-1 too. He's been there before.
Yeah.
He won it, right? Or did Bennington get it?
He did.
He did win it with St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, anything else you want to add on this series here? Joel, I know you got your finger on the pulse of that market pretty good. Anything else we missed or worth bringing up?
I've digested a lot of content from the Canucks media lately. There's a few different things, I guess, that we'll wonder if we see the Lauder line come together in a break glass in case of emergency situation. I know Rick Tocchet doesn't like to put Besser, Pettersson, and Miller together all the time, but if things are desperate and they're behind in a game, you could see those guys back together. But I think he's more concentrated on and focused on spreading the depth down the lineup and just winning it that way.
Okay, right on. All right, we're going to move down to the second series over here in the Pacific. We're going to talk about the Edmonton Oilers against the LA Kings. Current odds sitting at the Oilers -190, the Kings +160. This will be the third year in a row we've seen these two teams go at it. Ragai, do you happen to have the season split available?
3-1 for the Kings.
3-1
Oilers.
3-1 for Edmonton. One win was in a shootout.
So yeah. Okay, so very interesting. Very interesting. Ryan, I'm going to throw this one your way, buddy. What do you think is going to play out here?
Yeah, I really like the Oilers here. I think the Oilers have got a kind of lucked out here getting the Kings again. They've already beat them twice. They're a better team now. I think, the Kings might be a better team as well right now, or maybe a different team, but I don't really trust the Kings goaltending. And, I guess the Oilers goaltending isn't great either with Skinner, but he's shown that he can be the guy in net for them. They won the most recent meeting 4-1 end of March, 4-2 end of February. So won 3 out of 4 meetings this season. Kings kind of backed into the playoffs a little bit. I guess not. They went 6-2 in their last 8 games. The Oilers are a bit
against
cold.
the worst teams in the NHL. To be fair,
there's a fair point there, but I think this is a good draw for the Oilers. Don't hate -190 if you're an Archer type to take that juice, but -1.5 games +110 could be worth a look. In 6 +425, and 7 +410. I think maybe just split that in 6 and in 7, like throw a half unit on each there and hope one of those come through.
Yeah, the Oilers definitely got lucky here. I don't think that they would want to see the Golden Knights. They want the team they beat the last 2 years fairly comfortably. I know that the games went long, but the Oilers are the better team in most of those games. So, yeah, the Oilers here under $2, I think, are definitely the bet, even at $2. I'm probably not going to lay that, but maybe the -1.5 in the series would be the look. The Kings, their path to victory, they have to get Philip Deneau going. They have to get him matched up. He's got to win the war against McDavid. I remember McKinnon saying that he was the hardest player to play against. So we've got to get McDavid saying that Deneau is the hardest player to play against for the Kings to have a chance in this series. They got to get, some saves from Talbot here. They're not getting a lot of offense these days. They play the 1-3-1, which is annoying to play against. But I think that Knobloch is a good enough coach to overcome that and to plan around it and beat it. And then they can finally get some quality chances against a very stingy defensive team in the Kings. But no, I'm not. Early on in the season, the Kings looked really good. But then, when they fired the coach and brought in Hiller, they went even more defensive. And it worked at winning some games, but they just haven't looked convincing doing it. I think when they run up against quality competition, they'll find themselves falling short. So, yeah, Oilers here, a lot more talent. We know McDavid's going to be going balls to the wall here. He wants this cup like blood. So I don't think that he's going to be stopped. I like the Oilers to win the series comfortably here. The -1.5 would be a decent look. The path to the victory for the Kings, like I said, it's got to be with their centers and the depth of the team. Because if they let McDavid do his thing, then it's just going to roll. And don't take too many penalties, right? Oilers historically one of the greatest power plays. Yeah, it wasn't quite as good this year, but they got the same personnel there. So, yeah, Oilers here it's hard to imagine an upset.
It's hard to be as good this year as they were last year on the power play. They were fucking absolutely dominant. I know I was caught saying Oilers get bounced first round. That's when I thought they were playing Vegas. This is a whole different ballgame now that they're playing LA. There is some skeletons in the closet there for the Los Angeles Kings, especially against this Edmonton team here. Something worth noting too, and this goes without saying, but beginning of the season, Connor McDavid's been quoted saying it's cup or bust, man. And you know that these guys are going to be ready to show up in the playoffs here. Joel brought up something interesting here. The numbers of Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot's been serviceable throughout the regular season. He hasn't been a detriment to this team. He's been keeping them in games, playing well. But I just don't think that LA has enough offensive side to kind of match what we're seeing here with like Edmonton. And there's some depth there in LA, man. Like obviously they got the big guns, obviously still with like Kopitar and Campe, and even Trevor Moore's had a great year. I think he put in like 30 plus this season too on the goal scoring front. Like that, there's some value in that. And then even on the depth back end, the Carl Grundstroms of the team are still doing good as well. So I'm not shitting on LA here, But I just, let's face it, this Edmonton team's going to come out absolutely fucking humming. There's some questions, though, on both sides. We need to see Evander Kane step up and have a fucking big playoffs. He's had a terrible season this year, and this is a guy that is capable of driving play, especially in playoff scenarios. And then on the latter side, fuck me, man. We have seen playoff Pierre-Luc Dubois literally take control of series before. But fucking, he has just been absolutely shit. And shout out to Archer for the beginning of the year for saying that this guy just fucking stinks, because that's exactly what he's done this year. He hasn't done dick all. But if this guy finds his playoff game, there's a chance the Kings can go on a bit of ride here. Like, can go on a ride. Like, but you just have no faith in actually believing it'll happen. So only we'll find out, I guess, whenever these guys play, whether it be Sunday or Monday. I haven't looked, but it's just such a shame, because if this guy's on his game, he's a big physical body with offensive talent, making fucking money out the ass, he should be at least like noticeable in the game. But the fact that he's been down on the fourth line, third line for this LA Kings team, it's not a good sign, man. So it's just a shame. But yeah, you gotta like the Oilers here. You really have to. Concerned in net. You know how I feel, especially Stuart. Why the fuck did they play Stuart Skinner last night? Like, this game's not till Monday. I understand that, so he's got time off. But like, what the fuck are we doing here? They rested every big dog they had in that game. It comes down to mentality. Like, you're an asset to this team. You're one of the core. I want you up in the stands with the rest of the core. It's not a fact that I don't want you to play. It's that I want you to be included with that group of people, so you feel included with that group of people. And like, yeah, that matters, bro. Instead, they hung him out to dry and he got fucking shelled. Like, it worries me in net, man. And I'm just saying, my boy Jackie Campbell's sitting there in the minors. I still think he's going to get a start or two in these playoffs run for the Oilers here. But I don't know. Goaltending does worry me for Edmonton, but I would have to go with them to take this series at -190 for sure.
One more thing. I know I didn't talk enough about the Canucks, so I'll add a few more tangents. The Canucks drew an excellent draw here with the Knights going to the other side of the bracket. And the Oilers, I expect the Kings to lose this one. So that'll be the Oilers and the Canucks if things go the chalky way, and then that'll be a war. I think I'd favor the Canucks in that series. Like, it's depth against McDavid, basically. And with the goaltending advantage of the Canucks, the defense advantage of the Canucks, they could easily make the Western Conference Finals. So things broke the right way for both the Oilers and the Canucks, admittedly, but more so the Canucks. I think just getting Knights out of there and having the Kings in this side is a massive advantage for both teams.
Defensively, Edmonton's defense is fucking terrible. That's worth noting too. Like, who do they have that's good defensively? No one.
Yeah, Bouchard is good offensively. Ekholm,
of course, he is.
Ekholm's good defensively. But like, they needed to add somebody at the deadline. Who
else they got? Cody fucking Cece. Who else is on the back end? Darnell fucking Nurse. Like, what are we doing? There's your top four, right? Like, what are we doing on the back end with a mid goalie at best? Like, and they're going to have to fucking score like 6 goals a game in order to go on a run this playoffs, man. That's why everyone's saying it's Edmonton's year. I'm not buying it, dude. They'll score. They always score, right? But like, how the fuck do you defend?
And I can't go without ending this segment without mentioning also Victor Arvidsson missed most of the year for the Kings, and he's one of their best goal scorers, so he could be a wild card going forward. They did play better when he came back. So
Fiala's been fucking sick too. Right.
Skinner was great up. I mean, pretty much the last 20 games of the season. That was a great point, Talon. I don't know why he played at all, unless maybe he asked to play, but like that just seems kind of asinine.
I don't know, dude. So it's a bit of a mess. The intro. Okay. How many games do we see this series going? What do you guys think?
Over 5.5. Like, it's probably 6, but it wouldn't be shocked the 7. But I think
I'd be shocked. I mean, it happened 2 years ago, right? Or was it last year they played 7? But
it was 2 years ago. No?
2 years ago, yeah.
I think just Oilers roll this one.
Yeah. Points. I think it's obvious, right? Like, McDavid -125.
Fucking keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, like it's not bad value though. Like, honestly, like just throw $100 down on it or some shit like that.
I'll bet that. I'm not betting anyone else.
I don't hate Draisaitl +320. I mean, I
was thinking that too.
Than that.
Yeah, sprinkle it. Like, why not?
Even Hyman 14 to 1. maybe that's getting
Those
a
are
bit,
guys
bit,
for
bit
goals.
too cheeky.
For points,
Yeah.
you want the guy-
Bouchard 18 to 1.
Bouchard at 18. Yeah, that was kind of
Yeah.
intriguing. You never know, right? They could go off, especially with power.
Kings have an excellent penalty kill though. And
Yeah, they
Bouchard's
do.
like that penalty power play specialist.
I got goals here. Dreisaitl's 3-1, McDavid 4-1, Hyman 5-1. So Kempe 8-1 if you want a king option.
Keep
What
it
if
simple,
a Van-
stupid. McDavid
Yeah.
minus 125.
What if Evander Kane just finally shows fucking up for this team, though, baby? Plus 1,500 points? Like, put $1 down, put $2 down, you know? You never know. He's playing, like, what, third line minutes, so that's not necessarily great, but I don't know. I just want him to succeed, I guess. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know why.
Looking ahead to the Conn Smythe here. McDavid's 12-1. He's the favorite everywhere, but you can get Draisaitl at 40-1. And I think that there shouldn't be that big of a gap between the two. Draisaitl had 13 goals last year. He led the playoffs until late in the Stanley Cup final. I mean, I know McDavid's the star and everything, but Draisaitl could come up big.
Well, I remember saying there was no chance he would win, but then he just kept fucking scoring last year in the first two series.
On
So
one
he
arm.
definitely had a chance last year, but this year, 40-1. I guess that's a big enough delta between him and McDavid. But again, I would just go with McDavid 12-1. I mean, I think he just wins if the Oilers win.
Yeah.
McDavid wins a cup. Let's give the Conn Smythe to Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, no, you're so right. 100%. If the Oilers find a way to win the cup, McDavid's win the Conn Smythe. He could miss the entire fucking final series or something. They'd still find a way to give it to him. So, yeah, and probably rightfully so, truth be told. But all right, anything else worth adding to this series, gentlemen? Any other predictions or thoughts? No,
no, don't think so. I agree with Joel. I like the draw. I mean, bet Vancouver Edmonton down now because it's a pretty easy path.
I got a feeling. I really hope that all of Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg just get bounced in the first fucking round. I hope they all go down in one, baby. Fuck them all to death. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sounds like a real Canadian right there.
Fuck this. Oh, bring the cup back to Canada bullshit. Nobody cares. Fuck it. There's only one team that's going to be bringing this cup back to Canada in my eyes, baby, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Talon's a hardcore Leafs fan because he knows that the Leafs fans will be mocked forever if another Canadian team wins before Toronto does.
Could you imagine? We'd never hear the end of it. It would be fucking stupid. But all right, whatever. All right, everybody go check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Network website. That's the place to be. Tons of stuff going on in the world of sports, baby. Obviously, we got hockey, basketball, soccer. Big stuff going on in soccer world, right, Jolie? That's a big thing.
Yeah, man. Semifinals are set in the Champions League, and there's a race still going on in the Premier League. Serie A is wrapped up. Bundesliga is wrapped up. Manchester City's probably going to win the Prem. But yeah, Champions League is what I really care about now. And I think it starts in 2 or 3 weeks. We get the semifinals.
Hell yeah, man. So all that stuff's going down. Tons of stuff in the world of sports, baseball, all that good shit too. But before I do this, for anybody that's in the chat, we may or may not be teeing off again in about 10, 15, 20 minutes or so for our Central Division preview. So stick around for that. But hell yes, tons of stuff in the world of sports. You find all that information at the SGPN website. Be sure to go check it out. Read the articles, listen to the other shows. Everybody absolutely kills it. And of course, shout out to all of our friends and pals in the Discord, man. We're having a lot of fun in there lately. It's been a good time. Check out Ryan on the flagship show as well. I meant to throw that in there. That's my bad. Go listen to it, dude. Buddy breaks down to some good shit. Hell yeah, Gilbert. And look good too. You styled the hair a little bit. You don't look like you're in the Beatles anymore. I like that.
Exactly. I couldn't look like I was from Liverpool there, but yeah. And if you're looking for our puck buck bets, we are recording the Central Division right after this and during our puck bucks. That will be on YouTube on Friday night. Going to drop that podcast probably around 3 p.m. Eastern just to give these two pods a little bit of room to breathe. But if you really want our puck buck bets that badly, you can go back and watch on YouTube.
Hell yeah, man. The NHL fucked us. They gave us no time to get like 4 shows worth of previews in. So we're doing the best we can. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but you know what? We're just making it work, baby, because that's what we do over here. You gotta love it. So hey, shout out to all our friends and pals in Discord. If you want to get in there, reach out to myself or Ryan on Twitter. We'll be sure to point you in the right direction. Ringo. Or you can reach out to the HGB Twitter account. Social media assistant producer will tell you everything that you need to know. He'll get you in there. He's an absolute beauty. Or what you can do is Jolie, what can we do for you, buddy? What can the guys do to get a hold of you these days? Give me something special. I never ask you. I always say what's going on. What can we do?
Just come down to South Van and then just see me on my balcony hacking darts. That's where I am.
Go look at cherry blossoms.
Go look at the tree.
Yeah, that's right.
Cherry blossoms.
Follow the Chinese people to the cherry blossoms.
100%, man. Follow those Chinese people in your East Van. They'll definitely bring you to Joel's place because they know where the cherry blossoms are. And you'll see some guy just filming you, fucking be like, "What the fuck?" chirping you in the window or some shit. And that's up, boys. So just go knock up in there and ask them how to get in the Discord. He'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction.
Make sure you subscribe to all that good stuff. Leave us a 5-star rating and review, and I'll read it here at the end of the show.
Unless you're from Utah. If you're from Utah, stop listening. Don't ever listen again because everything I'm ever going to say next year about your team is going to be absolutely terrible. Free Connor Ingram. Get Sean Dursey the hell out of there. Fucking Michael Carcone needs to come back to the Marlies, and all of y'all can just fucking, I don't know, what's something. All y'all can go bang your friends' moms, which is actually pretty cool. So, or bang your mom's friends, rather, I guess. I don't know. It's supposed to be a Zach Wilson joke. Didn't land. Whatever's going on. That's pretty cool, actually. I shouldn't say that. But anyways, hell yeah. All right. My name is Talon Jenkins. You can find me at Twitter at Talon_Jenkins94.
I'm Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Meyer. You'll find me here in about 15 minutes.
Hell yeah. I like that, baby. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Around one. Rory McIlroy still a little bitch. Peace.
Around one.